And we'll get started. Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome. I wanted to just come on here tonight and tell you today, my name is Colson-Eyre, and today is, what is today? February the 16th, 2020. So I'm so excited to be with you guys tonight. We're live on YouTube and we're live on Zoom. So hello to my YouTubers, hello to my Zoomers. It's kind of fun doing this. I don't have to go back and post stuff. So tonight my husband and I, for Valentine's Day, we went over to Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, and then we went to Savannah, and then we also went to Brunswick. So we've been all over the place. We got back this afternoon. This morning I went to a church with some friends of mine, friends of Brad's in Brunswick, Georgia, and the pastor had just a great message on love and how much Jesus loves us. And it was really, really good. And he talked a lot about faith. And so it inspired me to talk to you guys a little bit about faith. Faith was very important to Mary Kay. Her priorities in the company were, well, for herself, were God first, family second, and career third. We all know that, right? And so for us, we want to live our life that way too. And so if you are a Christian, then faith is a very important part of your walk in your personal life and also in your business life. And if you're not a Christian, you can listen to this and maybe consider it. Everyone has, I realize that, but I'm gonna talk to you on the beliefs that I have, and because that's all I can come to you as the speaker is what I believe, right? So I wanted to give you an acronym that I thought was so good that he gave us today. And it's funny because he gave us an acronym for faith, and I remembered the first two words, and then I couldn't remember the other. And I thought, well, I'll remember it in a minute. And then I thought, let me just look it up. And so I Googled acronym for faith. Well, there's like 29 for faith that came up. And one of them was one of the ones he said. The one he said was, forsaking all, I trust him, as in I trust the Lord. And I thought that was really, really good. But I'm going to read you some of these other ones that are really good. And you may find one that just kind of motivates you, that you like, and you could write it on your piece of paper, maybe put it up where you can read it every day. And so I thought those were really good. Okay, so one of them is fully anticipating it to happen. Okay, forwarding all issues to heaven. Food always in the home. I don't know about that one. You would have to have faith in our house because I just ate a bowl of cereal. Okay, full assurance in trusting him. Forsaking all, I take him. Full assurance in the heart. Fantastic adventures in trusting him. I like this one. Fear ain't in this house. Don't y'all like that one? Fear ain't in this house. I'm like, that's the one I think I'm going to write really big, because a lot of things in our business, we are stopped by fear. We're stopped by fear of just being afraid to ask someone if they would like to have a Mary Kay facial, afraid of handing our business card out, afraid someone's going to tell us no, afraid for going for a big goal. And it's all because, we're afraid of rejection. We're afraid to look stupid. Fear. So fear ain't in this house. That's a true Southerner. So for my Northern gals, y'all have to practice that. Okay. Finding answers in the heart. I like that one too. For anything impossible, trust him. Fabulous adventures in trusting him. For all, I trust him. Faithful. I like this one. Okay. And I would say, like, do you have faith? And I'd say, here's what it means. Are you faithful, available, interdependent, teachable, and hungry? I love that. That's a good one. Okay. Friends are in the heart. Fact accepted in the heart. For anything, I trust him. For answers, I trust him. Finding assurance in trusting him. And Father, all in thy hands. And so I thought those were really, really good. Okay, so then I looked up Mary Kay on faith, and I got a couple of different things to share with you of what our founder, Mary Kay Ash, had to say about faith. So this is one quote from her. says many women have made the mistake of changing their beliefs to accommodate their work. It must be the other way around. No circumstance is so unusual that it demands a double standard or separates us from our faith. No matter how fast the world changes, exemplary values must remain constant. That's one of the things Mary Kay that we loved about Mary Kay is she was very consistent in her message. She didn't flip flop and go back and forth on things. Another quote from Mary Kay, it says, behind every Mary Kay success story, which would be like one of yours and one of mine, you will find an explanation of great faith. I believe that every person has a capacity for greatness, that God planted seeds there, and it's up to us to make them blossom forth with patience and guidance and belief. It's up to us to discover the multiple talents that we possess and bring them into fruition. Another thing that she said is, it's important to keep this in sight of what really matters in life. If we lose our families and our faith in the process of developing our business, then we have failed. And so I thought that was really great on something that she said. I'm also going to share with you, this is a book that I won in 1993. And this says, A Dream Come True, 30 Years of Inspiration from Mary Kay. And so in this book, there's all kind of things. And she had like chapters on integrity, service, praise, leadership, compassion, courage, humor, and she has a whole chapter on faith. And so I'm going to read you some of the excerpts in here. And I thought some of them were really, really good. Some you probably heard before and some you may not. And some are just little quotes. And, sometimes it's good to have these little quotes in your brain so that when you start doubting yourself and you start lacking faith and you forgot that fear ain't in this house, then you can remember some of this from Mary Kay. So this was a quote from, some of these quotes are from other people and some are from Mary Kay. The ones from other people are the ones that Mary Kay, she just loved the quotes, so she put them in here, okay? And so this first one is in her words. It says, it's entitled Faith. When hope seems to have faded away like the sun behind a storm cloud, we have our faith to cling to. And faith has always been the silver lining that shines through the darkest thundercloud. Faith keeps us strong. Faith keeps us focused. Faith means we never have to give up, regardless of the odds that have been stacked against us. For faith always rekindles hope anew. To share one of my favorite inspirational messages from Dr. Robert Schuller, and this is from Dr. Robert Schuller. She said, when faced with a mountain, I will not quit. I will keep on striving until I climb over, pass through, tunnel underneath, or simply stay and turn the mountain into a gold mine with God's help. That was one of Mary Kay's favorite quotes. A couple others, it says, when God closes a door, he always opens a window. Expect great things and great things will happen. Around here, we are realists. We expect a miracle every day. She used to say that about it at Mary Kay Incorporated. So the 20th century philosopher William James said the greatest discovery of our generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitudes. And I would add to that is the greatest discovery of any generation. Throw out the words, if I can, I hope, maybe, and replace them with I can, I will, I must. And, so many times in my Mary Kay career, I have heard this quote out of Mary Kay's mouth. Okay, Mary Kay Ash, our founder. And she would say that. And she would go, throw out the words, if I can, I hope, maybe. She hated those, and she would go, instead, I can, I will, I must. And we would be at seminar and she would yell out, she goes, repeat after me, I can. And we would all yell, there's like 8,000 people, I will, I must. And when I first joined Mary Kay, and some of you know this, when I first joined Mary Kay, I went to a meeting and they were talking about this whole philosophy. And I could not understand. I thought they were saying a can of willow musk. And I thought it was some kind of cologne Mary Kay sold. I was new in the company. And I thought, I have got to get some of that, a can of willow musk, and then I could sell it. And then I finally learned they were saying, I can, I will, I must. And then they even used to they take a soup can, you guys, and they would take the label off of it, empty it out, wash it out and clean it. And then they would take this construction paper and they would put it all the way around. And then they wrote on it an eyeball. And they said this was your I can. And then, you had that on your desk and you would have that, put your pencils and your pens in it to remember that I can do anything. Okay. Instead of I'll try, maybe. And, even at our meetings, I have women that stand up, and it's usually the new ones because the old ones already know what I'm going to do, or the seasoned ones. But, they'll say, well, I hope to sell, $300, or I'll try, to sell something, or I'll try to do this. And I'll say, no, how about I will? Or like, I'll try, I hope to be in my red jacket by the end of the month. Now, what that means is it's not a done deal. You're just hoping. Okay. So we go, no, let's try that again. Because what you say is what's going to happen, right? So instead go, I will be in my red jacket by the end of the month. You have to have some conviction, right? You have to have some faith. So I love that. Love it. And Mary Kay did too. Okay. Another one says, ideals are like stars. You will not succeed in touching them with your hands, but like the seafaring man on the desert of waters, you choose them as your guides and follow them, you'll reach your destiny. And I thought that was pretty awesome. She says, a foolish person may stumble upon opportunity, but it's the wise person who has the faith to go out and search for it. God hath promised strength for the day, rest for the labor, light for the way, faith for the trials, help from above, unfailing sympathy, and undying love. And she said, a person can live longer without food than faith, longer without drink than without dreams, and longer without rest than without respect. And so these are just some of Mary Kay's quotes that are so awesome. And then I've got a couple other things I'm going to talk to you about, faith and goal setting, but I thought these were just so great because Mary Kay loved them. One of them said, don't be afraid to see yourself as the you that you'd like to be. Okay, don't be afraid to see yourself as the you that you'd like to be. No matter how far removed from the real, no matter how far removed from the real, the you of your dreams may be. Keep dreaming the dream, hitch a ride on a star, hold tight, never let yourself fall, and one day you'll find that the you of your dreams is the you that is real after all. Did that make sense? So you know what? We all have an idea of what we'd like to be, the you of our dreams. Like if we could be anything. And just hang on. And what she's saying, hang on to that dream, hang on to that star, and you will find that you can be the you of your dreams. If you built castles in the air, your work needs not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them. That's from Henry David Thoreau. And another quote is, hopeful wishing is often mistaken for faith. I like that. The person who has discovered a way to faith has a roadmap to all the riches in the world. And then here's a little prayer that she put in here, and I thought was really great. It says, oh Lord, grant that each one who has to do with me today may be happier for it. Let it be given me each hour today what I shall say, and grant me the wisdom of a loving heart that I may say the right things rightly. Help me to enter into the mind of everyone who talks with me, and keep me alive to the feelings of each one present. Give me a quick eye for little kindnesses that I may be ready in doing them and gracious in receiving them. Give me a quick perception of the feeling and needs of others, and make me eager-hearted in helping them. I thought that was a very sweet prayer. And so I'm going to read a couple more of these at the end, but I want to talk to you a little bit about setting your goals to fulfill your God-given purpose. And this is an article that I found today, and it's from a group called Focus on the Family. I don't know if you've ever, looked at that online or on Facebook, but it's a publication that comes out, and it's really good. This particular one is from way back in January 1st, 2008. And this is by a lady named Shanna Schutte, Schutte. I'm going to give her the credit on it. And it was a longer article, but she was talking about how some people felt like that goals were unspiritual. And let me explain that. It's like that they felt like that if you set a goal, you're not letting God lead you. Okay. You're not letting God lead you to where you want to, where you need to go. And so she talked about that. And she said, there's many ways to approach goal setting and have faith to do it. Some people look at the big picture and then they break goals down into smaller chunks. Some like to take a looser approach. However, no matter how you set goals, it's important to consider the total, how God made you in the process. God created you and every planet on planet Earth, every person on planet Earth, with several parts, like a pie with several pieces, separate pieces. Each part is critical to who you are, and all of these parts must be considered when you set goals. So I want you to think about your Mary Kay goals. I thought this was very enlightening what she says. So the 5 parts of a person, and you guys probably have heard this before, is spiritual, family, social, physical, and work. Those are the 5 parts. If you fail to give each part the proper attention and care as you reach towards your God-given purpose, you'll experience problems. For example, because God created you as a spiritual being, he wants you to love him with your whole heart, soul, and mind. And that's in the Bible, Matthew 22:37 through 40. This means that your goals must agree with your spiritual convictions. If you set goals that go against what you know God asks of you, you will become fragmented emotionally, intellectually, and you'll lose your joy and your enthusiasm. So if some of you are in that place where you feel like you've lost your joy and your enthusiasm, then that could be why, you know. Additionally, because God also created you to need connection with others, if you neglect the social aspect of your life and become all work and no play, you'll most likely become out of balance. You'll be experience physical, emotional, social, and spiritual troubles. And so I was just thinking about this when we set our goals. Okay, so you have those 5 areas. So let's say you have a big goal and then, you don't involve your family at all in your goal. Like you have a goal, they don't know what your goal is. You totally shut them out of anything you're doing when you do your Mary Kay, and it's all you. Well, what happens is, the joy of, like I've seen people that are more successful in Mary Kay involve their family in their goals. So like when they achieve, like say maybe to win a car or become a sales director, or maybe just, rise up to be a senior consultant, that their family knows about it too, and they can rejoice with those who rejoice, just like you would when your child gets an award or plays good at a ball game or something like that, right? Wouldn't be any fun if they went and you never went to a game, right? So you want to involve your family, and you don't want to neglect your family over your Mary Kay. Now, Mary Kay said God first, family second, career third. Now, some people use that as an excuse not to work. And they say, well, I can't go to a party because I have kids, and, or I can't even work. Well, the truth is, if you have to work or you need to work to make money, you have to be away from your children a certain number of hours a day to work. Most people can't work with 7 children around them, right? They have to have that time to work. And it's good for the children to be in school or doing some other things, right, while you work. And it's a good example for you to set for your children. So don't use your children as an excuse. Instead, use them as a reason. And there are many, 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 many top directors that have a lot of children. One of my good friends, Liz Varan, she has 6 children. I think her oldest turned like 13 today, and the youngest is like 6. I know at one time they were all under 6 or something like that, and it was crazy. They're just like boom, 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 boom. But she is a pink Cadillac sales director, and she is always doing stuff with her children. In fact, I think she homeschooled for a while. I think she still does for some. But anyway, there's a lot of successful people that have a lot of children. So don't use them as an excuse. I know one of our directors, our Boss Babe director, Selah, had 3 children, and she has 3 children, but they were little bitty when she started Mary Kay. And that girl, Selah, never missed a ball game. And she was consistently a top seller in my unit, and then became a sales director in my unit. And she never, you can ask her kids, like they will tell you that she never missed a thing. And she was a single mom even. So she had to really work on all of that, but she didn't use them as an excuse why she could not do Mary Kay. Instead, she thought, I must make this work because I got 3 kids. So I hope you'll think about that. And then as far as all work and no play, I hate to say that, but most of you guys are not doing all work and no play. It's usually the other way around in Mary Kay, isn't it? Like in some careers, it is that way where people go to work and they spend their time at work, and they are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and their family gets nothing or the very late leftovers. I would I would say that Mary Kay people really are not that way. However, if you found yourself that you are giving no time to your husband and no time to your kids, of course you want to fix that. And because you don't want your children and your husband to resent your Mary Kay business. That's the last thing you want. So look at your priorities, look at your schedule, work it out. And there may be some times that you could work that you're not working when it does not conflict with your children or your family, your husband may could take the kids to go do something, and then you know what, you could go do a Mary Kay facial or do a party or something, right? So really think about your schedule, think about your family, and it can work. Mary Kay wrote a book and it said you can have it all. I don't know if it's still in publication, but it's a great book. But you can read her autobiography, and some of you guys are on the Wednesday autobiography. There's a whole Facebook group, and it's got, I think it's called Mary Kay Legacy Mary Kay or something like that. I know the last time I looked, there were 7,000 members, and every week one of the top directors is going over the chapter. And this last Wednesday was chapter 2. So if you need that link, let me know. I'll put it, you can search for it, but it's really been fantastic. And you're just every week from now till seminar, we're taking a chapter and we're going over it. So I think it's pretty awesome. So what does this mean for you tonight? And then I'm going to read a couple more of these. A lot of times we have goals, and our goals are big. We set big goals, and we need to set big goals. And we do need to break it down in little chunks, and we need to have them, they call SMART goals, where they're, you can, they're specific, you can measure them, that whole deal. And so I want you to think about what you really put down that you want this year, whether you put it down July the 1st, or whether you regrouped on January the 1st, or maybe you regrouped on February the 1st. What do you really, really want? And if you think about what you really want, then I want you to think about, okay, do I have faith that I could get this? Like, is this something attainable that I really could get, right? I mean, it is possible. So what I mean by that, if you are sitting there and you are, let's say you're in your red jacket, and you say, I want to be a director by March 1st, that's not attainable. Why? Because you already have to be in DIQ, right? So you have to think about what you're putting down, and you have to think about the time schedule and what is allowed with Mary Kay, like what the rules are, right? And so, but if it is attainable, and for most everything that you guys want, it is attainable. Like one of the things is that I know a lot of the Boss Babe girls on here really wanted to be a sales director by seminar. And seminar is in July. June 30th would be the last that you could finish your directorship up, and by July 1st be a director and go to seminar as a sales director. So you can become a sales director in 1, 2, 3, or 4 months. With the new plan, 3 months is the way they do it, but they will give you the 4th. Okay. You have to start out with 10 active team members. So any of you on this call, any of you could get your 10 this month and start in March, and you'd have March, April, May. You would debut June 1st. And if you had to take another month, you could. And then that would be July 1st. Okay. And so if you do it 3 months, you only have to do 13,500 with your team. If you take 4, you have to do 18,000. So it's better to do 3 months. Or even if you work this month, like the next 6 weeks to get your 10 active, and then you started on April 1st. That would be April, May, and June, and you're a director by seminar. So you guys, if that's really what you want, then you have to have faith that that's what you're going to do. And then you got to get you a plan. And even though it doesn't look like it, if you're putting the effort in and you're putting the work in and you are being obedient to what you need to do, then sometimes it doesn't happen to the very end. I mean, there is a lot of things I've gone for that it did not happen till the last hour. Now, would I like to happen early? Yes. But there's a lot of things that didn't happen till the last hour. And, I shared that with our new Boss Babe director, Katie, that there's a lot of things that we achieved and at the very last hour of the very last day of the very last month to achieve it, and some of those things would be my directorship. My first pink car, which was a pink Grand Prix, be like the Equinox, my not the first top director trip, but the third top director trip that I won. I was not that I was needed a lot on the last day, like more than I had ever done, 50,000 wholesale. And y'all, miracles just happened that day. And the very last order went in at the very last minute. And I literally after I did it, I just couldn't believe it. It was to the London trip. I just cried. I couldn't even speak. I couldn't. My husband at the time was in Charleston. I couldn't even call him and talk to him. It took me an hour to even call him, and because I was just so overwhelmed at what happened that day. But that's where faith kicked in, and I'm like, we are going to do it. So I want you guys to think about that, the things that you've been working on this year, and I want you to renew your faith back up. Do some things to strengthen your faith. Read your scriptures. Do some positive affirmation. Put you a big old sign, fear ain't in this house. Forsaking all, I trust him. Get some of these things. I know some of it sounds corny, but I promise you what goes in comes out, right? And if you doubt, then you're not going to make it. I mean, that's just the truth. You're not going to. And so I know that God has a plan for each of us, but we have to be obedient to do the work. And I think it's just there for us. It's just like, are you going to go grab it? Are you going to get it or not? Are you going to wait and make excuses and let the devil discourage you and, not reach the goals that you want to be? And so, I mean, I'm preaching to myself as well, you guys. I'm not perfect, and I doubt myself sometimes, and I start having doubts of what I can do and what's going to happen. And then I have to kick it back in. And today was that day. I thought, you know what? Have a little faith. Let's kick it back in. Let's go back to work. God will honor your work. He will honor the seeds that you're planting, you guys. And if you're not planting seeds, there's nothing for him to make grow. So really think about that. So I'm going to read you a couple of more things, and then we're going to kind of wrap up. One of my favorite quotes, and I used to put this on everything that I used to write. And when Mary Kay would ask me, what's your favorite quote? This is the one I would say, is anything the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. So I want you to think about that. If there's something you really want, if really you don't believe it, like you say it, but really you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. So you really got to work on your belief. Okay. And so anything the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out, with never a thought of frustration, with never a moment of doubt. Whatever your cherished ambitions, begin now to make come true through efforts repeated, untiring. Put faith in the things that you do. I thought that was really awesome. Okay. There's just a couple more in here. I'm going to read you two or three more. Okay. This one is a kind of a long one, but I thought it was pretty good. It says, faith is the foundation on which we build perseverance in our lives. It reminds me, this is Mary Kay talking, okay? It reminds me of one of my favorite stories about the late Sir Winston Churchill. You guys have probably heard this. It seems that Sir Winston had been extended an invitation to address the student body of his alma mater, and all looked forward to hearing the guiding wisdom of one of his most famous alumni. The great salesman chose to share with them the philosophy of life that would have withstood all roadblocks and hardships, including the dark days in England endured during the World War II. When it came time to speak, he rose, paused, and then in that classic jowls down, somber glance over half-rimmed glasses, mannerism that had become his trademark, Sir Winston Churchill uttered 6 words, just 6 words. Never, 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 never give up. And then he sat down. And it's a speech that people have talked about for years and years and decades about that speech. Is that not amazing? So you might want to put that, like when you put on your goal poster, fear ain't in this house, and in the bottom put never, 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 never give up. And then in the middle put that goal you're running for. The last couple ones says, the darkest hour of despair yields quickly to the light of faith. Faith will bridge all rivers of doubt so you may cross over safely. Faith and works are like the light and the candle. They cannot be separated. The greatest success in life is usually attained by simple means and the exercise of ordinary qualities. These qualities, for the most part, can be summed up in these 3 words: common sense, persistence, and faith. Common sense, persistence, and faith. You guys feel like you have common sense? I think most of you do. How many of y'all met people that don't have common sense? They don't even have common sense. Okay, persistence. That's the never, never give up, right? And then faith. Common sense, persistence, and faith. I think all of us have that. Most failures could have been converted to success if someone had just had the faith to hold on another minute or made one more effort. And then the last thing she put on this chapter in faith, it says, if you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. And I'm going to close with this. We had this little calendar, and it says words of wisdom, kind of like my little book right here. And I won this. I don't even remember when I won this one, 2005. And today, February the 16th, it says, and I posted this on our little Facebook page. It says attitude, and I'm going to end with this. The important thing to remember is that we live in a negative world, and there will always be those who tell you it can't be done. Remember our meager beginning? I was told by everyone it wouldn't be done. It couldn't be done, but I didn't listen. This is Mary Kay talking. Aren't you glad I didn't? Thousands of women around the world today are basking in the glory of Mary Kay Incorporated because Mary Kay did not give up. Because everybody told her, you can't do it. It's not going to work. And she's like, yes, it will work. And what did she say when she was at the grave with her husband that died a month before she was supposed to open? She said she took God as her partner, and her and her kids knelt down and prayed, and then they decided to open it anyway. And aren't we glad we did? Today, this last weekend, they had their very first seminar ever in Colombia, in Bogota, South America. I mean, unbelievable where Mary Kay is. And so, that's a place over there where they have just a lot of different challenges, and there's a lot of crime over there. You probably heard all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, but they've got this huge Mary Kay. They got the first national. I mean, it's just pretty exciting how Mary Kay is growing. So anyway, I want to encourage you with your faith today, and I want you to think about fearing in this house and what you're going to do this week with your business. We have 2 weeks till the end of the month. All the new products are available. And one of the quotes I like, it says, why blend in when you can stand out? Right? Why blend in when you can stand out? Be a standout kind of girl. And the new products that we have, I have on the eye today, and I had on the bronzer, and I had on the lipstick, but I put something else on. This is Appleberry with some Tenacious Taupe on top of it because my red stiletto is in my purse somewhere else. But anyway, I love the new products. Love them, love them, love them. So you have to get them, and you have to open one of each of them for yourself. And you have to wear them every day as soon as it comes in, because you will sell so much more when you have them on, because you'll be so excited to talk about them. Throw them in your purse, show everybody you got, show them on the back of their hand, whatever you got to do. And, move. And the good thing about it is all the new products that came out, except for the bronzers, are regular line. Those lipsticks are going to stay. Those liquid eye colors are going to stay, and the liquid eyeliner is going to stay, and the little mini compacts. And the only thing that's going away would be the bronzers. So that's the thing that, like, if you've got people that love those bronzers, well, the subtle tanning lotion, the after sun gel too, will be limited edition, but they will usually last till the end of the summer. But anyway, it's going to be an exciting spring, and with all that going on, every single person can order today. And the lookbooks came out. I know I sign myself up for one too, so that I know when the customers get them. And then there is on page 11 or 12, there's a sample of the red stiletto, and I think it's the red stiletto. I don't know. It's 2 colors. If someone has that, I pulled it out of my lookbook and gave it away. But 2 of the new colors, there's samples in there. Could be trademark pink, the red stiletto, but I don't remember. Anyway, but you look at it and make sure your customers know to try those colors, because they'll absolutely love them. Okay. So I'm going to see if any of my girls that are on here want to say anything. There's a lot of YouTubers on here. So I'm just going to give a little shout out to Tina Crowder, Frogman. I'm not positive who Frogman is. Says, hey, Cleta, me and my buddy Rick here listening tonight. It's his birthday. We're really enjoying the show. So I have no idea who Frogman is. But hey, Frogman, Nikki Jammer, S. Carter, Karen Crownover, one of our Boss Babe directors, Angelica Holtron, I think. And there's probably some more. Let's see if there's any more. Okay, maybe. Oh, yeah, there are. Okay, Mariana Marquette. Anyway, there's several on there. And then, of course, we got all of our Zoom girls. We got about 12 of y'all on there, too. So I'm going to do Rosie first. And if you would like to say anything, Rosie.
Hey, thank you, Cleta. I loved hearing the things you talked about, and I just wanted to share something with you guys. I know there's lots of different apps for affirmations, but one I found and that I've been using lately is called Idillionaire, and it's like Idillionaire. So I'm assuming it's Idillionaire. That's how I'm pronouncing it. But anyway, it has affirmations that you can go through, and read yourself, but also during the day, one just pops up. And it's just sometimes it's just the thing I need, and I really, really enjoy them. I go back and look over, it's not every day. You don't get like hundreds a day or 50 a day, or maybe you get 3 or 4 a day at the most, but it's just enough to kind of, I hear that ping, and it makes me want to look at it to see what it is. And sometimes they're just real simple, like, um you're going to live out that you're going to live out all that you're currently praying for, and it will make sense why it happened the way it did and how perfect timing truly is. It's just little short stuff, but then there's also a lot of just talking about speaking positively, what you say, is going to happen, kind of thing, more positive affirmations. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. It was a free app, and
Yeah,
I like it.
I
So
love
wanted to
that.
share
I
that.
love that. Idillionaire. I'm going to look that up today and
Yeah.
download it. I love it. Okay. Sayla, she's had a really busy day. Sayla, you want to chime in on anything?
Hey, everybody. It was a great call, Cleta, and thanks for the reminder of Mary Kay and her faithfulness and her belief in the Lord. And I just, I know that from my personal experience, it's so easy to have faith and strong belief when things are going great in our lives. But sometimes when things get a little rocky, we start questioning our faith or if the Lord is really listening to our prayers. And I know that if we will stay faithful, like you said, that that He will answer our prayers and things do work out. And a lot of times we don't understand exactly why things are happening, but when you believe and you have strong faith, it's just important to keep walking in the direction of your faith and goals. And you will. I think sometimes the enemy tries to get us off track by discouraging us, making us discouraged and distracting us. But really, if we'll just be consistent, we will hit the goal. And like you said, anything is possible if we just believe. So thank you very much for the call.
You're welcome. Thank you, Sayla. And you know what, you guys, go watch The Greatest Showman on Earth again. Such a great movie. There's a lot of good little faith movies too. I mean, that's not really like a biblical movie, but it sure is one that it's inspirational for sure. And so, and Sayla, you've been through a lot of stuff. And the thing about it is, hindsight's always 2020, and you go back and then you can say, I can see where the Lord was working. If I'd have just had a little faith that He knew what He was doing. And also, one of the things my husband and I were talking today is be open to new opportunities. Be open to new opportunities and don't shut out things that could be an opportunity for you. There's some things in with he and I that have come up. And we're like, well, I never really thought about that, but maybe we ought to look into it. And I'll share some of that later if we end up doing it. But just be open to how God is leading you. Work, pray, and have faith, rely on God, and then also just kind of keep your eyes open to what is happening around you, because it could be something that you haven't even thought about. So anyway, you guys, thank y'all for calling in tonight. I really appreciate it. It's going to be a great 2 weeks as we end the month of February. It's leap year, and a lot of people are doing some really cool things on the 29th, because it's only every 7 years. So I know we have one of our boss babes, Sandra Griffin, is her birthday. So she only has a birthday every 7 years. I mean, she's probably only like 14 or something. But anyway, think about that's that Saturday of what maybe you could do on leap day. Take a leap of faith that day, and why don't you maybe try to facial 10 people or something, or do something crazy and facial 30 in a day. I don't know. Think about it. What could you do on that Saturday? And maybe do something big. It only comes around once every 7 years. You could end the month with something fantastic. So anyway, thanks for calling in. We're going to go ahead and what were we going to do? We're going to stop the YouTube first.